Imagine that a book buried for over 1,600 years contains a truth so powerful it was erased from history. It was hidden, condemned, and silenced because it threatened everything that people believed about God, reality, and existence itself. But now this ancient text, the secret book of John, was unearthed in a desert in Egypt, and its pages revealed something terrifying. The world is not what it seems. The forces that rule it are not who they claim to be. And the idea of a loving, all-powerful God watching over humanity crumbles in the face of what these hidden writings reveal. According to this forbidden text, a false god, a being known as Yaldabaoth, created this world, shaping it not with love and wisdom, but with arrogance and deception. He called himself the one true God, demanded worship, and ensured that humanity never realized the truth. He wasn't the divine creator of all things, but a being formed out of ignorance, a force that trapped human souls in a world of illusion. The Gnostics, those who preserved this knowledge, saw the physical world not as a divine masterpiece, but as a prison. None of the suffering, chaos, and endless struggles were part of a sacred design. It was deliberate, a system created to keep people blind to their own power, their own divine spark. Every human being carries within them a piece of something far greater and older than the world itself, a fragment of the true source. Before anything existed, there was only the one, a pure, boundless energy and infinite. It was not a god with a form or a throne, but the very essence of creation itself. Everything that exists came from this source, including Sophia, a powerful force of wisdom and creation. But something went wrong. In an act of unauthorized creation, Sophia gave birth to Yaldabaoth, a being who had no knowledge of where he came from, yet believed himself to be all-powerful. Blinded by his arrogance, Yaldabaoth stole the light of creation and shaped a false world around it, a place where he could rule as an imposter god. He created lesser beings, the Archons, to help him maintain control, ensuring that humanity remained trapped, never realizing their true origins. He built a world filled with distractions, suffering, and limitations so that those who lived in it would never question its design. The early Gnostics saw something that others didn't. They recognized the illusion, understood the deception, and tried to warn those who would listen. But knowledge like this was dangerous. Those in power saw it as a threat and worked tirelessly to wipe it from existence. Texts were destroyed, believers were hunted, and soon the truth faded into obscurity. But the message never disappeared completely. It lingered in hidden symbols, in forgotten teachings waiting to be uncovered once again. The world we live in is not the final reality. The struggles and limitations imposed on human beings are not natural laws, but chains designed to keep them from waking up. Yaldabaoth and his Archons fear only one thing, that people will remember who they truly are, that they will realize the divine spark within them and break free from the illusion. Every system of power that has ever existed has worked to keep this knowledge hidden. Governments, religions, and institutions all reinforce the illusion, diverting people's attention from spiritual awakening to earthly distractions. The cycle continues, generation after generation, trapping human souls in a game they don't even know they're playing. But some will always question, always seek the truth buried beneath centuries of deception. The Gnostics held the belief that the world intentionally lulled people into slumber, yet individuals who pursue concealed wisdom have the power to disrupt this pattern. Remember to join our community by subscribing to this channel. The discovery of these lost writings was not an accident. They reappeared in a time when humanity is once again beginning to question everything. More and more people are sensing that something about this world doesn't add up, that there is a missing piece to the puzzle. The knowledge locked away for centuries is resurfacing, calling to those who are ready to hear it. According to the secret book of John, life is not a random collection of events, but a carefully designed structure meant to deceive. The material world, the one filled with suffering, desire, and limitation, is not a divine creation but a construct, one built by Yaldabaoth, a being consumed by his own ignorance and arrogance. This false ruler crafted a world not out of love but out of desperation, trapping souls within a reality that keeps them disconnected from their true origins. Everything around us operates within a system of duality. There is light and darkness, knowledge and ignorance, freedom and control. The world appears to be a mix of both. Yet the Gnostics believe that what most people accept as reality is actually an illusion. It is a carefully controlled environment designed to keep humanity from realizing its true potential. This explains why suffering plays such a profound role in human existence. Pain, loss, and confusion, these are not just natural occurrences, but mechanisms meant to distract and weaken. If people are busy struggling, trapped in cycles of fear and desire, they will never stop to question the deeper truths about their existence. Every moment spent chasing material success, fighting for status, or drowning in despair is another moment spent inside the prison of illusion. Yet the false god is not the only force at work. The true source, the boundless energy from which all existence originates, never vanished completely. A fragment of this original light was hidden inside every human being. The Gnostics called it the divine spark, an inner piece of the infinite source that Yaldabaoth and his forces have worked tirelessly to keep suppressed. To maintain control, the Archons, spiritual enforcers who serve the false ruler, constructed a reality where human beings remain unaware of their true nature. This is why distractions are endless, why entertainment, power struggles, and empty desires dominate human life. These forces manipulate reality to keep people asleep, blind to the deeper existence beyond what their senses can perceive. But awakening is possible. The moment someone begins to see the cracks in the illusion, a shift occurs. They no longer view the world as something absolute, but as a fabricated construct designed to keep them contained. Every realization, every moment of clarity weakens the grip of the false god. True enlightenment, the kind spoken of in secret teachings throughout history, is not about gaining power or knowledge in a traditional sense. It is about seeing beyond the false layers of existence and recognizing that the reality most accept is not the full picture. It is about understanding that true freedom does not come from wealth, status, or even physical liberation, but from escaping the mental and spiritual chains that have been placed on humanity for centuries. This is the battle between light and darkness, not a war fought with swords or armies, but a struggle for consciousness. The forces of illusion thrive on ignorance, while the true source calls to those who are ready to remember. Not everyone will awaken. Some will remain attached to the physical world, unwilling or unable to question the foundation of their reality. But for those who feel the pull, who sense that there is something beyond what they have been told, the journey begins the moment they start to look beyond the illusion. The secret book of John is an ancient text, written sometime between the 2nd and 3rd centuries A.D. It is believed to be based on the teachings of John the Apostle, one of Jesus' closest followers. According to this book, after Jesus rose from the dead, he appeared to John and shared hidden knowledge, secrets about God, the universe, and the true nature of human existence. This was no ordinary conversation. Jesus explained things never mentioned in the Bible, things that completely changed the story of creation and the role of God. Instead of the traditional belief in an all-powerful, loving Creator who made the world perfect, this book describes a completely different version of reality. The ideas in this text were so radical that the Catholic Church declared it heretical, meaning dangerous and false. It was banned, hidden, and destroyed wherever it was found. The leaders of the early church did not want people to read it because it challenged everything they taught about God. Most religious traditions teach that God created the world and that He is all-powerful, all-knowing, and completely good. But the secret book of John presents a shocking twist. The world we live in was not created by the true God, but by an impostor, a being who falsely claimed to be God. Most religious teachings view the material world as a gift, created for humans to enjoy and thrive. But according to the secret book of John, this world is actually a trap. Everything in it, from the suffering and struggle to the rules imposed by those in power, was designed to keep people from realizing the truth. The book teaches that through gnosis, a special kind of inner knowledge, a person can begin to remember the truth. This is not about believing in a religion, following a set of rules, or worshiping a god. It is about awakening the hidden divine spark inside, breaking free from the illusion, and reconnecting with the true source. Most people think of reincarnation as a natural process, an endless cycle of being born, living, dying, and being reborn. Many believe it is a path toward growth and learning, a way for the soul to improve over time. But according to the secret book of John, reincarnation is not a gift, it is a trap. Instead of allowing souls to return to their original divine source, the demiurge forces them back into the physical world over and over again. Every time a person dies, their soul should be able to break free and return to the true realm beyond the material universe. But this doesn't happen. The archons, the spiritual enforcers of the demiurge, stand at the gates of death, waiting for departing souls. They use tricks, illusions, and even false visions to convince the soul to return. Some souls are lured back through attachments to loved ones, while others are told they still have lessons to learn or karma to balance. But all of these ideas are part of the illusion. With each rebirth, the soul forgets its past lives and starts over, lost in the same world of suffering, distraction, and false beliefs. This cycle continues endlessly, ensuring that no one ever truly escapes. One of the most effective ways to control someone is to make them forget who they are. If a person doesn't know they are a prisoner, they will never try to escape. This is exactly how the demiurge keeps souls trapped, by erasing their memories. Are you enjoying the story? Support our channel by clicking the subscribe button. Before a soul is reborn, all knowledge of its true origins is removed. The soul forgets that it comes from a divine source, a place of infinite light and truth. It forgets that the material world is a prison. It even forgets that it has lived countless lives before. This forced ignorance ensures that each time a soul is reborn, it fully accepts the illusion. People grow up believing that only the physical world exists, that their thoughts and emotions are their own, and that they must follow society's rules. They are told to trust what they can see, hear, and touch, and to ignore anything that doesn't fit within the limits of their senses. Throughout history, humans have searched for meaning, trying to understand why they exist and what happens after death. Religion has provided many answers, but according to the secret book of John, most religious teachings have been manipulated to serve the demiurge's agenda. This keeps people dependent on religious authorities, ensuring they follow rules designed to limit their understanding rather than expand it. Some belief systems even encourage suffering, teaching that pain is a test from God rather than a sign of the flawed nature of the material world. They do this by keeping humans distracted with endless desires: money, power, status, relationships, entertainment, and material success. People are encouraged to chase external validation, always wanting more, but never feeling truly satisfied. This cycle of desire and disappointment keeps them constantly occupied, preventing them from looking inward. Throughout history, different cultures and belief systems have tried to explain why life feels like a struggle, why suffering exists, and whether there is something more beyond the physical world. Many of them share a similar idea, that humans are trapped in an illusion, unable to see the truth about their existence. This concept appears in various forms, but the core message remains the same. The world we experience is not the ultimate reality. Some traditions describe the matrix as a prison of the mind, others as a cycle of endless rebirth, and some as a grand illusion created to keep people from discovering their true power. Whether it is called Maya, Samsara, the demiurge's trap, or the spiritual matrix, the idea is consistent. Humanity is kept in a controlled state, unaware of the deeper reality that lies beyond. A similar idea exists in Hindu and Buddhist teachings, but the concept of reincarnation explains it. According to these traditions, souls are caught in a cycle known as samsara, where they are born, die, and are reborn over and over again. This process continues endlessly, driven by karma, the effects of one's actions in previous lives. This cycle is not a reward. It is a trap that keeps souls bound to the material world. Each new life brings more suffering, more desires, and more attachments, keeping people from realizing their true spiritual nature. The only way out is through enlightenment, a deep understanding of the self and the universe that allows a person to break free. In Hinduism, this is known as moksha, the liberation of the soul from the physical realm. In Buddhism, this is called nirvana, a state beyond suffering, desire, and illusion. Both traditions teach that as long as people focus on material desires, power, and attachments, they will remain stuck in the illusion of samsara. Only by turning inward and seeking truth can a person escape. The teachings of Hermeticism, an ancient philosophical system linked to Hermes Trismegistus, also describe the physical world as a distorted copy of a greater, more divine existence. In this tradition, the universe is structured in layers, with the material world being the lowest and least perfect. Hermetic texts explain that the physical realm is not the ultimate reality. It is only a reflection of something much greater. Just as a shadow on a wall is not the actual object, the world we live in is only a faint image of the true spiritual universe. The famous Hermetic principle, as above, so below, suggests that everything in this world mirrors something from the higher, divine planes of existence. However, most people are stuck only seeing the lower levels, unaware that their consciousness can rise beyond the material. To escape this prison of illusion, a person must study the hidden forces of the universe, understand the nature of the soul, and practice self-discipline and spiritual growth. By doing so, they can reconnect with the divine source and move beyond the limits of the physical world. In more recent times, spiritual thinkers have developed new ways to explain the same ancient ideas. Many modern teachings talk about a hidden system of control, often referred to as the Matrix, a term made famous by the science fiction film, but based on older spiritual concepts. Although these philosophies come from different times and cultures, they all describe the same fundamental reality, that the world is not what it seems, and true freedom comes from understanding the hidden truth. For centuries, humanity has wandered through a world built on deception, searching for meaning in a reality that was designed to obscure the truth. The secret book of John dared to expose the hidden nature of existence, revealing that life, as most people know, it is nothing more than an elaborate prison of perception. From forced reincarnation to manipulated belief systems, everything has been carefully constructed to keep souls unaware of their true origins. This knowledge, once condemned and buried, has resurfaced at a time when more people than ever are questioning the world around them. The ancient wisdom of the Gnostics, along with similar truths found in other spiritual traditions, offers a path out of the illusion, one that requires the courage to see beyond the distractions and limitations imposed by the material world. The journey toward liberation is not an easy one. Every system in place aims to discourage questioning and maintain people's comfort in their blind acceptance of reality. Most will never suspect that they are living in a controlled state, distracted by fleeting desires and empty promises. But for those who sense that something is missing, who feel the pull of something greater, The first step toward freedom begins with awareness. The mind, when left unchallenged, remains confined within the narrow boundaries of what it has been taught to accept. Society conditions people from birth to follow patterns of thought that reinforce the illusion, focusing on material success, external validation, and obedience to structures that benefit those in power. But once a person begins to question, a shift occurs. The cracks in the illusion become visible, and what once seemed unshakable loses its grip. The world no longer appears as a solid, unquestionable reality, but as a construct, a carefully designed environment meant to limit perception. Realizing that the physical world is not the final destination is both unsettling and empowering. It forces a re-evaluation of everything once believed to be true. Attachments that once seemed important, titles, possessions, status, lose their meaning when viewed from a higher perspective. The false narratives that once dictated human existence become exposed, revealing the hidden hand that has guided the course of civilization for thousands of years. If this message resonates with you, consider clicking Super Thanks. You'll be helping to keep this hidden wisdom alive and ensuring that more people have the chance to awaken to the truth. This process is not about rejecting life, but about seeing it for what it truly is. The world, though filled with deception, is also a training ground, a place where those who are ready can break free from the limitations imposed upon them. Every moment of suffering, every experience of longing, and every glimpse of something beyond the ordinary has been placed here as a signal to wake up. To break free from the illusion, one must embrace the inner knowledge that has been buried beneath years of programming. This journey is not about acquiring new beliefs, but about unlearning the false ones. The demiurge and his enforcers have spent centuries ensuring that human consciousness remains limited, but the key to escaping their control has always been within reach. Gnosis, the deep, intuitive understanding of one's divine nature, cannot be taught by external forces. It must be discovered within. Those who seek truth must be willing to look beyond appearances, to trust their inner knowing, and to reject the fear that has been used to keep them compliant. The greatest deception of all is the belief that freedom must be given by another. The systems of control thrive on this idea, convincing people that they need permission, that they must follow rules set by higher authorities to attain salvation. But true liberation has no gatekeepers. It is an internal process, one that begins the moment a person recognizes that they were never meant to be prisoners in the first place. The world is not what it appears to be. The rulers of this reality are not who they claim to be, and those who are ready to see beyond the veil have the power to reclaim what was taken from them. Thanks for watching. Join our community by subscribing to this channel. Until the next video,